Hi, I'm Susan Earle, and I'm telling my quilt story for the Go Tell It project on June 28, 2021, here at the Spencer Museum of Art at the University of Kansas. I want to tell you about one quilt from our collection. It is by Marla Arne Jackson, a nationally known quilt artist and educator whose home and studio are here in Lawrence. It is titled Sankofa, using a word from the Twi language of Ghana that means go back and get it. What better title for a narrative quilt that evokes recollections of forgotten histories, including Jackson's own. Jackson was born in Detroit, but left for Kansas when she was 18, living first in the city of Topeka. Jackson was inspired by a Nigerian woman she briefly met there, who left a deep impression on her. This transformative relationship is symbolized in the quilt. The flow of this outside person's ideas takes the form of the figure on the left. The quilt suggests the power of this woman's influence and of Jackson's own artistic force taking shape. Jackson uses bright blue fabric of the figure's leg to represent life water, the force of new knowledge coming into and feeding the artist's family, including Jackson herself. Some years later, Jackson came upon another influence tied to Topeka that was the immediate impetus for making this quilt in 2006. Topeka was the birthplace of Aaron Douglas, a major visual artist of the Harlem Renaissance of the 1930s, whose work was the subject of a major traveling exhibition being organized by the Spencer Museum of Art in 2006. Jackson learned from Douglas's artistic approach and his use of figures in powerful silhouette, in part through the work we were doing to prepare this exhibition. Douglas's mural paintings and book illustrations were transformed by Jackson into her own most frequent medium, the narrative quilt. With the quilt Sankofa, Jackson weaves together formative life experiences from her family history, the idea of Sankofa, and her discovery of the visual art of Aaron Douglas. Blended through the fibers of the quilt, these layers create a richly emotional and intellectual narrative of life embedded in the history of Africa and Black America.